Back live on Morning Live here at George Campbell School. We're talking Commonwealth Games, Durban 2022. The excitement was indeed palpable. We heard the announcement earlier this morning. Lots of students came here. They're celebrating. The Games are 7 years away, but as we know, that can fly. But we've got a bit of time to shape things up right here in Durban. But what role can educational institutions play in nurturing talent ahead of the all-important Games, and especially with people living with impairments? Let's further this conversation now. I've got two guests, Noel Mudley and Spem Tetwa joins me now live. Noel, you're the principal of the Open Air School. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Firstly, your reaction to Durban hosting these Games.
Congratulations to Durban, Blain. First and foremost, hosting the Commonwealth Games 2022. That's exactly a year after we turn 100 years old at Open Air School. So fantastic for us to be part of this, our learners being part of this, so we truly humbled and privileged to be part of this history-making occasion.
Yeah. Spare, what's your reaction? You excited about these Games?
Oh yes, we are excited, and we are excited that they did invite us today, and it's a very great honor for us to be here and hosting this game. And we're looking forward to 2022 for this Commonwealth Cup.
Yeah. You know, Noel, what sort of programs are in place, especially in your school, in terms of nurturing young talent ahead of these Games?
Sport plays a huge role in terms of parasport, and learners with special needs or impairments. This is an avenue that many of them can use as a platform to go further in life. And at Open Air School, we have various sporting codes: wheelchair basketball, table tennis, we have bocce, we have swimming, we have athletics, soccer. So when one looks at sports, I think for people living with impairments, sports is a platform where they can shine at every level possible. Yeah. And we have learners with KZN colours as well as South African colours sitting here with us today.
Yeah. So big success stories at your school.
Huge success stories at our school. We have learners that have represented us at the Paralympics in previous years, and going forward at the next Paralympics we have two learners that are representing Open Air School and South Africa in the under-23 wheelchair basketball team.
Spem Tetwa, as a facilitator, what sort of challenges do you face in terms of nurturing young talent?
In our school, we don't have actually challenges, because our school, we don't take us like we disabled or impairment. Sometimes we do have challenges, but most of the time we don't have challenges.
Yeah. You would agree?
As Space said, every learner that comes to our school adopts the philosophy, the culture, the motto of I can and I will. So we do not believe in disabilities, we believe in dream abilities. And every learner, sport, academia, cultural, we believe that we can and we will succeed at every level possible. And our school and schools like ours throughout the country are avenues that these learners can use to become everything that they can be.
Yeah, talk to us about acceptance from society with people living with impairments, especially around sport.
I think when one looks at sport, sport is very much a facility one can use to overcome these barriers in terms of acceptance. When one looks at Paralympic sport and what it's done for the world, and Natalie du Toit comes to mind immediately, and the work that she's done, not just as a sporting person but as an ambassador for people living with impairments. But I think at the end of the day, society as a whole still very much is in a very gradual phase of accepting people living with impairments. And I think the more media coverage we have, the more exposure, the more advocates and ambassadors out there that become voices for people living with impairments, the greater society will be able to readily embrace people living with impairments or disabilities. And more importantly, I think it's a very gradual acceptance. Still, in the 21st century, many people living with disabilities or impairments find it very difficult to get jobs, to get recognition. And yes, you do have your celebrity people, but I think the people at grassroots, there's still very much stereotypes that are in place that do not allow us to have the access that we need at every level possible.
But are your learners motivated when they see the likes of, say, Natalie du Toit on an international stage actually making it? Does that offer some sort of motivation for them?
I think when one looks at the learners at our school and learners at other special schools as well, every one of them has the support from their parents, from the teachers in particular, the staff as a whole. So the intrinsic motivation, they are self-motivated. And I think at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want learners that enter society motivated, not just to be a part of society, but contributing citizens of our amazing country.
So are facilitators self-motivated?
Yes, here I am. me, I am, yeah. And then with the learners, I'm very happy for them to be part of this, and they are very active at school, and we're very proud of them. Yeah.
No, normally athletes have to travel far distances to compete in an international stage like this. Now the games are here. It's on our doorstep. It means a lot for these athletes.
Absolutely. I think what we saw, and I heard Sean Pollock mention Kuala Lumpur in 1998, to see the top athletes in the world in Moses Mabhida Stadium, down the road in Pietermaritzburg cycling, it's brought the world onto our doorstep. And I think, if anything, the World Cup has shown the world what Africa can do, what Durban can do, and now to host the Commonwealth Games, Durban, amazing. And many of them, I was teasing them, would probably leave school by then, but they'll definitely be sitting in the stands somewhere, and they can say they were here on the day Durban got the announcement.
Do you think more programs, though, needs to be in place to help these children?
I don't just think it's more programs. I think it's more a case of building capacity and understanding in the greater community. And I think corporate needs to come on board with government and form and establish more programs that allow our learners with special needs to enter the job market. I think the critical issue is not so much them getting an education, it's what happens after they leave school. I think that's the bottom line, and I think that's what we want as learners and as staff of special needs schools in the country. We don't just want education programs. We want to know what happens after our learners leave school. What's out there for them so that they can become everything possible in the employment sector and not just another statistic.
Noel Mudley and Spem Tetua, they're from the Open Air School in Durban. Thank you very much indeed for your time. We're going to further this conversation still, so stick around to Morning Live. Keep it locked on. We're going to find out more reaction. We're going to speak to a few people living with impairments. That's coming up in a little while.